She is a decorated woman all throughout every promotion she goes. She wins gold. All she does is win, 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 no matter what. Ladies and gentlemen,
Mm,
give it up for
mm.
Vicious Vicki.
Yes. What an introduction, Mark. I have to say, the most decorated woman. I am literally the best women's wrestler in the entire universe. Let's just put it that way. And I'm sticking with that because I believe that to be absolutely true. And 2023 is going to be the year for that. So you watch. You watch.
I feel like every year, like you just step up your game here as far as what you bring to the ring. Listen, there's no denying it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you that you're the best woman wrestler in the industry today. I'm not saying just indies. I'm saying in the industry, period. End of
Smart,
sentence.
smart
Like,
man.
I firmly believe it. So, for new fans, casual fans, whatever, let's bring it back a bit here. We are no strangers to each other.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Back in
Nope.
BWF days, I had the luxury of getting to know you. I think it was your first year as a wrestler, right?
Yes, that was my first year. That was my first year.
And then that was my first year doing commentary,
Mm-hmm.
so it was pretty cool. I got to call a lot of your matches there, and I bear witness to you winning your first championship there,
Mm-hmm.
and the boos were raining in. And I had a good feeling about you before, but like at that moment, I was like, this girl's a star.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I am a star. I am more than a star could ever be a star. The problem is that the stars are clearly not aligning for said person because I am the star. It's all making sense to me now, like I'm trying to figure out why, why not me? Where's my shot? Where's my opportunity? I've done all these things, I've seen all these things, I've carried all the gold. What's going on? And well, to be fair, I think that there's a lot in store that maybe I can't share or won't share or will share, or I don't know, everything's kind of, you know, hiding in the back.
Well, this is a safe place here. We're in the
Yeah.
nest, as I like to call it.
Yeah,
So,
a little nest, a little circle of trust, if you will.
exactly, circle of trust. Still the words right out of my mouth. So, why don't you share with us? I mean, I feel like 2022 was a tumultuous year for you. Like
Hmm.
there are a lot of highs for you. There was a couple of lows as well. Let's dive into that a bit here. Like you started off the year, coincidentally enough, so your upcoming show, BCW Queen of the North 4. Last show, Queen of the North 3, you came into that injured that you had to be on commentary for.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't easy for me. I appreciated all the work the women and men were doing in that said show. Yourself as well. Watching was great, and being able to call it was even cooler for someone like me to kind of be on the outside looking in. But
By the way,
I
crushed it as that as well. Crushed it in
oh yeah.
commentary
I
as
mean,
well.
are you surprised? Vicious
No.
Vicky is good at everything she does. That is just how it works. So I think you already know that. But with that being said, yes, it was very difficult for me to watch, everybody doing what they do best and what I do best, and just kind of, making names for themselves and elevating their careers, and they're at their absolute peaks is exactly where I was before I was injured. So to kind of be in the Queen of the North 4, and I think I was in the second one or the first one. Um, I wrestled Raylan, and so I'm no stranger to this tournament. I'm no stranger to this, to this show. And I'm definitely no stranger to BCW. So I think for me, this time going around, I'll let you do the honors of explaining that more into detail. But I think this time going around, this is my moment to prove exactly why I am claiming myself to be the best women's wrestler in the entire universe.
Absolutely, because you are going to be a very big factor here in the next Queen of the North for BCW at Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, January 29th. Doors open at 2 o'clock. Tickets are on sale right now. I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but let's talk a little bit more about your year, 2022. You, as I said before, decorated champion all throughout. You had to, because of injury, either give up belts, you lost belts. But then you had the high of being the last what was the musical called? Last Wrestling Match?
The last match for
The
Wrestling
last
Rock
match.
Principle.
Excuse me. You had the honors of being in that. Then you had the honors of being AEW Dark, which unfortunately did not air that part. Like it was just such a wonky year for
Yeah.
you. Like talk to me a lot about that. And how it affected your mindset and what that means for you going into this year.
Yeah. I mean, to be completely frank, the year started off where I was kind of hot. I was gaining momentum in the previous year, and I was on this high, and not only like in my own self, but within my fans. And whether they loved me or they hated me, I really still could give a damn. But I had this momentum going. I was getting more opportunities. I was getting opportunities in higher places, except the companies I wanted to be in, but more and more opportunities. And you just, one little thing you do wrong and you're out. I had like what I believed to have been a serious knee injury, which I'm grateful for me that it was not.
Thank
um
God.
yes, but it was so bad that I was like, I'm out for a while. And I made the smart decision of what I normally wouldn't do, which would be to step away. And when I did step away, I'm watching, everybody get these opportunities, and watching people on my television sets. And let me tell you something, I am very happy for people. I cheer for my friends, I cheer for my enemies, I cheer for everyone who gets, these things that they achieve, because that's what we're all looking for, and it's very cool. But at the same time, yeah, I was 100% sour and angry and bitter, because I'm sitting on the outside going, well, what the hell? Like, that should be me. And then when I came back, I had this momentum going, and I just lost it again. I couldn't find that fire, because I believed that, I don't want to say like what took me away from wrestling was going to happen again, but of course there was that fear of it, that my arm went. In the middle of that too, I tore my labrum. So I was kind of like, oh my God, like now I'm dealing with this. And then I started getting a little momentum back, and like getting belts back. And then I sprained my, my leg. It was like a domino effect. I sprained my left ankle bad.
So that's the
Bad.
thing. Anytime you seemed like you were gaining some momentum, it was just taken away. Like
Yes.
you were battling an uphill battle. It seemed like most of the year, and you still came out with a pretty strong year, like better than most, I would say.
I agree. Yeah. The ankle sprain would like set me over the edge, man. I was welcomed back to MCW. I was very excited to be back, and like the last couple seconds of the match, I even posted it. Like, I had to like pull off shows, and yeah, I'm pulling the curtain back, man, because we all do this. Like, this whole thing of like feeling defeated, feeling down, feeling like, why is this happening to me? I was so depressed and so sad, and like I it was awful. And I remember just thinking like, okay, like my ankle still hurts, like disclaimer, like don't not hire me because I'm injured, because I'm fine. But like, yeah, like, we're wrestlers. We have aches and pains, and things hurt all the time. Like, if someone tells you they're not in pain all the time, they are full of shit,
Or they're not
because,
working.
or they're not working. Right. I was like, because I'm in pain all the time. When you're in the ring, the adrenaline kicks in, everything. Fun fact though, when I had the musical, the very first showing of the musical, that was in September. I sprained my ankle September 26th. It was a Friday. Really bad, severe. Like, I thought I broke my foot. I woke up the next morning. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even touch my toe to the floor, because like I thought it was terrible. It was terrible. So I'm like, I'm done. I broke my ankle. I'm done. Severe sprain. Like I said, still hurts. September to now, still hurts. But I had the musical 2 days after that.
How'd you do it?
So I did.
Yeah.
I pushed through it. I don't know how I did it. I took Tylenol every 6 hours. Like it was awful. Or actually it was the next week, I believe, because I had shows. Yes, it was the next Monday. I was not ready. I didn't rest it enough. But I was like, I am not. That was probably the coolest thing I ever did in my life. Aside from the WWE tryout, going to the PC and experiencing that whole thing that I've talked about with you previously, that was cool. To be merging the world of Broadway and music. I mean, wrestling.
It was so unique. I mean, it got play in the media. A, B, like, you're working with like credible people. You're working with Vicki James, Matt Cardona's involved. Like, how can you not, like, hey, is this thing together? I can still kind of walk. All right,
Man,
I'm
and
gonna
I told, dude, I told them all too. I was like, I'm not gonna lie, and my part is all probably like the whole thing, like 15 minutes ish. So it's not like I had to be in the entire play, but that was a big proportion of the show. I got stunned by Matt Cardona, which was freaking awesome, by the way. And yes, I don't give a crap. I'm marking out for the major players. Okay, I think it's freaking great what they do. I was awesome. Okay.
Sold it like a champ.
Oh, I tried. I didn't want to outdo it. You know what I mean? But very cool experience. But yeah, I did it all with a sprained ankle the first time. Awful. Pushed through it, man. And it's crazy because, like I said, like when you're injured or when you feel like these aches and pains and these dings, like your adrenaline is just so high that you don't feel it till after. Like I remember, like as soon as the show's over, my ankle was throbbing so bad. I was crying. Like I was like, it hurt so bad, but I did it. Something I'll never forget. But going back to momentum and everything that happened in 2022, once I came back again, I was getting my belts back. Right now, I have my ICW women's title back. I have my IWA women's title back. So that's 2 out of 7. But I'm slowly trying to work my way back up and maybe even claim some new gold, man. That's my goal. I'm just trying to prove, and again, off the record in some sort of way, but trying to prove why I am the most overlooked, underutilized women's wrestler probably on the planet right now. I am, and it's not even a bitter thing anymore because I was when I was hurt. I wasn't bitter and mad because people were getting opportunities over me. It was within myself. It was like I can't do it. I can't go out there and go and grab this shit by the balls and do it like I was when I first started. I was traveling on planes, going all over the place. I couldn't do it. I couldn't go. I was hurt. I was dealing with mental health, which has always been a struggle for me. And I'm finally at a good place with that. So it's like, man, like to have a new year and new beginnings and new opportunities that have been given to me and in front of me, like this is my year. And I'm being honest, whether this ends up being true, because we're wrestlers, we're in wrestling, we do this shit all the time for some reason, where we give ourselves a time frame and we keep exceeding it. But I gave myself in September when I turned 29, I said, I'm giving myself another year. I was like, I'm going to take it more serious. Not that I didn't, but again, being injured, being out, I kind of got in that down, like depression spiral, if you want to call it that. But I told myself from September to September, I was like, I want to start making moves now. I was like, by the time I'm 30, if I don't have something in some way, like I'm gonna just give it up for a little bit and just like walk away.
Wow.
Is that a promise to myself? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's one of those, but I think giving myself that time from, like I told myself when I started wrestling, I have 5 years now. I said, I'm at 5 years. If I'm not signed by 5 years, I'm done because I want to move on to the next chapter of my life, which would be get married and have kids and a family and the lottie-dottie-dottie American dream. You know all about that,
A
Mr.
little bit.
Swan.
A little bit. I know a little bit.
And people say don't do it, but at the end of the day, I think it's a beautiful thing. And yes, I think that's where I see myself as well. But that's not where I am right now. I have the best partner in the world. I have a great family, and I'm young enough and able-bodied enough where I can still do this. So I'm not taking that for granted. I'm not taking any of that for granted. It's just a matter of how do I get there, and there were some things that happened that, again, I'll let you run the show, but there are a lot of things that happened here in this year that gave me hope. The musical being the first stop of that hope train, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I mean, again, like tumultuous, I think is the word that we can use for your year. Highs and lows, man. Highs and lows. I definitely can relate, but we're not here to talk about me. This is about you. So, one of the things that you did in BCW, another title, if you want to call it that, you won the Empress of Anarchy.
Yep.
And that was the last time we saw you in BCW. That was in what? The summer?
July, maybe.
Right.
I think
that was July.
Yeah.
So
the end of July.
Quite a gap here. Like, talk to me about that. Like you win that opportunity. You're like, all right, so what's going to come of this? And then it's taking a few months here, but here we are, Queen of North 4. You're going to finally get your shot to get a championship, to cash this in, if you will, for a Grand Dragon Championship against Anthony Gangone.
Yeah. So I kind of had my moments with BCW. I'm just like, I don't understand, like, what's going on? What are we waiting for? I blew through Edith Surreal and Bonesaw Brooks like it was, nothing. So I'm just trying to understand like what was the point of that, right? I'm like, I first of all, I think Empress of Anarchy is awesome name. Second of all, what does it mean? I didn't understand. What did it mean? I asked AJ Pan, hey man, what is this about? Like I claimed said throne of what Empresses of Anarchies are, and I guess I'm one now. Then it was explained to me, what it is, and I have this opportunity to cash in that said title for an opportunity. So I kind of just sat back and watched and gave it my own little what do you want to call it, like observation and being smart about which direction I was going to go. And Anthony Gangone is easily one of the best on the scene right now. I am not going to deny that. I do. I can always give credit where credit is due, and I agree with that statement.
He's a magician in that ring.
Yeah, right. It speaks for itself. But with that being said, I was never big on intergender wrestling. That is a fun fact people know about me. It has nothing to do with men and women being in the ring or whatever. It's just a matter of I don't know. I just never thought it was appealing at first. Then I started dipping my toe in it a little bit more, because I started realizing, like, hey man, you know what? Like, I am just as tough as these men, man. And us women in general are as tough as these men. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I had a couple bouts in Warriors, shout out to Warriors with Chris Steeler. We had a little storyline going, and it was real. The story was real. That was the thing. They always say, like, storytelling, like our storytelling was real. This guy who I knew when I was a kid, who I used to watch wrestle and looked up to, and now I'm kicking his ass in the ring for him taking his No Limits championship. The same applies for Anthony Gangone when I was this green as goose shit wrestler, watching him and succeeding and doing all these things. And I'm like, man, he's really good. And like, even picking his brain sometimes if I want to, if I like him. But now it's like, it's at a point where that championship, because he's holding it, in my eyes, is prestigious, and I want it. So I feel like, with that being said, if I'm everything I touch turns to gold. I keep saying it, and I will keep saying it until I die. Everything that I touch turns to gold. That is just how it works. So I do have the Midas touch. So why not take that title and make it mine? I think it's a great goal. Vicious Vicki, the Golden Dragon Champion. It's freaking great. I might even change the name of the championship belt. Who knows?
You just did. I mean, from Grand Dragon Champion, I like Golden Dragon Champion. I like that. And it's green. It's a green championship. I think it works well with you. You look great with that. Dude, I'm for it, man. I'm for it.
I'm here for it. Well, yeah, that's a little fun thing I like to do. I'm starting to name things, give them their own names. I mean, at one point I might even have my own damn Dundee award. Okay, that's how prestigious and cool that I am. Okay.
We're just going to make awards for you because that's how damn good you are.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why no one's done it yet, but we'll see.
I'm surprised I didn't see you in the Golden Globes yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you're robbed.
I did get robbed. No pun intended. Anyway, I'll be here all night.
Amen to that. Well, Vicious Vicki, I personally cannot wait to see this match. I do hope I get to do commentary for this one, because it is a match that is I know people use the words must see, but there's no other words for this. This is must see. Anthony Gangone.
This is marquee matchup. This is Queen of the North. No disrespect to any of the women, any other man on the card. Everyone's gonna kick ass. We all do. That's what we do. But this is definitely must see match of the night. This is marquee. This is main event. This is that match. I've had people say things to me too, like, Vicki, I can't wait to see that match. And I was like, oh, you better watch it, because I'm gonna be walking away with that championship. I am very convinced that I'm going to make Anthony Gangone tap out.
You're not even going to pin him. You're going to make him tap.
I'm going to make him tap out.
Oh, hell, girl. I'm here for this.
I'm going to make him tap out.
Mark her words, ladies and gentlemen. Vicious Vicki is not only going to win the Grand Dragon Championship, she is going to make Anthony Gangone, the great Anthony Gangone, tap out. Strong words, and I am here for it. And
people can't get weird about this, and I'm going to say this, because if you do, it is what it is. You're weird, but I'm going to make him submit to another woman, and no, it won't be Valentina.